A moment of silence to remember the service and sacrifices of the armed service members who protect our nation and the first responders who protect our neighborhoods. Thank you. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Quinn. Councilmember Friedlander. Councilmember Cruzio. Councilmember Colombo.
Here.
Councilmember Smith.
Here.
Councilmember Sackett. Councilmember Kelly.
Yeah, here.
Vice President Abrahamson.
Here.
President Jeniak.
Here.
This special meeting was called pursuant to the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Law. Notices of this meeting were sent to the official newspapers, the Daily Record and the Star Ledger on June 14, 2018. In addition, copies of notices were posted on the official bulletin board in the municipal building and filed in the office of the municipal clerk on aforementioned date.
Item number 6 on the agenda is the designation of Sergeant at Arms, Township Code 2-5.15, decorum. While the council is in session, the members shall preserve order and decorum. The council president, at his or her discretion, shall direct the chief of police or such other person in the police department as he may designate to be the Sergeant at Arms at the council meeting. Sergeant at Arms shall employ reasonable means to maintain the proper order and decorum consistent with accepted standards. I don't see the chief here. Officer, will you be the Sergeant at Arms for this meeting?
Yes.
Could you identify yourself, please?
Patrolman Harrison.
Thank you, Officer Harrisman. The accepted standard is that members of the audience are asked to keep their volume to an inaudible level so that business can be conducted and so that those who are speaking can be clearly heard. If an individual becomes audible, the Sergeant at Arms is expected to ask the individual to reduce their volume to an inaudible level or ask the individual to leave the meeting room as necessary. Item number 7 on the agenda is Resolution R-18-107, Resolution appointing representation in defense of the lawsuit Dachisen v. Rockaway Township Council et al. Is there a motion?
Motion.
Moved by Abrahamson.
Second.
Second by Kelly. Is there any discussion on this resolution, which everyone received a copy of at the beginning of this meeting?
Okay.
Take a moment to read it. Is there any discussion? Sure. Anyone else like more time to review?
No.
Councilmember Kelly?
Were all council members notified today's meeting? And how was it noticed outside of the publication as well as the?
I emailed everybody.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any other
Council
questions?
President, a point of order, please. I just want to advise the council that we have special counsel designated to attend to matters where I may or could be in conflict. The proposed action presented by this resolution as to yourself, Mr. Kelly, Ms. Abrahamson, Mr. Palumbo, and Ms. Smith, may constitute a violation of the local government ethics law, particularly 48-9-22.5D. My recommendation to the council is that before acting on this resolution, that the council take the opportunity to consult with Mr. Thomas Ryan, who has been designated as special counsel for all matters in which my firm may be in conflict. That would be my recommendation. There is also a question I have with respect to Mr. Inglesino and or his firm, which the council should be at least aware of, and should also consult with Mr. Ryan. Mr. Inglesino is presently employed as an attorney, or his firm is presently employed as attorneys for the township in various tax appeal matters. And also I'm advised that when Mr. Inglesino was a member of the council and subsequently mayor, he participated in the state health benefits plan. That's all I have. Thank you, Council President.
Okay, I'm not sure if it's appropriate for you to give us advice, given that you have a conflict in this matter.
Well, my advice is that you consult conflicts counsel for the reasons that I've noted.
I reviewed the professional services resolution from January, and we don't have a designated conflicts counsel in that resolution.
Mr. Ryan has been designated pursuant to our code as special counsel. That designation under the code requires that I designate counsel with the approval of the mayor. That's the procedure that's followed.
Except that you have a conflict in this matter.
That's why one designates conflicts counsel or special counsel.
Is there any other discussion? Councilmember Kelly.
Mr. Yankee, could you recite that statute that you, 48?
The local government ethics law is particular section, I believe, is 40A:9-22.5, I believe it's subsection D. 48:9-22.5D, as in David.
Councilmember Kelly, did you have any further questions?
No,
Okay. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Palumbo?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly?
Yes.
Vice President Abrahamson?
Yes.
President Daniel?
Yes. 5 yes, 0 no, 0 abstentions. Motion carries. Next on the agenda is Resolution R18-108, motion to enter closed sessions for discussion of lawsuit of Dachisen v. Rockaway Township Council et al. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Motion by Abrahamson, second by Kelly. Is there any discussion on the closed session motion?
No.
Hearing none, clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Palumbo?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly?
Yes.
Vice President Abrahamson?
Yes.
President Daniel?
Yes. I count 5 yes, 0 no, 0 abstentions. Motion carries. We will recess to clear the room and then enter closed session.
Record should reflect that I'm excusing myself.
We have Ordinance 2-5.14 requires that any comments or questions made during the public portion of the council meeting must be addressed to the council as a whole and not to any individual council member. The failure to comply with this ordinance may result in the termination of any further opportunity to address the council at the session. All speakers must first be recognized by the council president before speaking. All comments are to be directed to the entire council as a whole and not to any individual members. Speakers have 5 minutes each to speak per Township Code 2-5.14. At the conclusion of 5 minutes, an alarm will sound indicating that the speaker's time has expired, and the individual speaking is expected to immediately relinquish the microphone so that the next individual may speak. Failure to adhere to these rules will result in the council president using the gavel to reinforce adherence to the rules, and when an individual's speaking time has expired. If at any time a speaker ignores the gavel or refuses to relinquish the microphone, the sergeant at arms is directed to assist the individual in relinquishing the microphone and remove the individual from the meeting as necessary. We have one individual signed on the sign-in sheet to speak, Pat Degnan. Please approach the microphone and state your name and address for the record.
Pat Degnan, 88 Valley View Drive. The reason I came to this council meeting is, and the only reason, was because I happen to be one of the lucky ones that is on the notification. So I get information that a special council meeting is being called. I think this meeting was made totally in error because I think you're being disingenuous to the members of the public, many of whom work and would be attending a council meeting. Also, there are 4 council members that probably are working that could not attend this meeting, and therefore their input was not able to be received. Another problem was that when I pulled up the agenda, because I usually pull up the agenda before I come to the meeting so I can see what's on the agenda, I could not pull up a copy of the resolution because it was not on the website. Therefore, I was limited into what I could speak about today. I did get a copy of it just recently, and I'm kind of upset by the fact that some of the things in this resolution is authorizing payment for attorney's fees when they've already been, when the resolution was passed, the attorneys were not technically hired, and now they're being paid retroactively.
Thank you for your comments. I'm now closing it to the public. With regard to the scheduling of this special meeting, this special meeting was called for the earliest possible time because of the pending hearing date set by the court. So that is why the timing of it was that. The resolution that was passed today doesn't sets a rate for the attorneys representing, does not set specifically payment. Payments done by invoices to the township by attorneys. So, does anyone else have any comments or comments?
I just want to say that I did receive an email from Mrs. Jan Osio regarding this meeting, and I just want to reiterate, did every council member receive an email? Yes, okay.
Yeah.
Did you get any, anybody stating they had a conflict? Did Mr.
Puzio,
Puzio
come in and Councilmember Sackett, that's all I heard.
So Mr. Puzio, Mr. Friedman, and Mr. Sackett, and Mr. Quinn, only 2 responded that they couldn't come. Okay, I thank you. Did they respond by email? Yes. Thank you. Thank you.
And also with regard to the notice of this meeting, in my direction that the council and mayor be directed or informed of the special meeting that I called, I also directed that this be posted on the township's website, as well as go to the papers in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act. And I believe that that was followed. Okay. All right. If no other business, is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by Smith. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Abrahamson. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Tondell?
Yes.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes.
Yes.
Councilmember Kelly?
Yes.
Vice President Abrahamson?
Yes.
President Bowman?
Yes, 5 yes, 0 no, 0 abstentions. Meeting adjourned.